My name is Sarah. I am 25 years old. When my boyfriend left me, I was pregnant. I was scared and alone, so I told everyone I lost the baby. But that wasn't the truth. Now, my secret is about to come out. My story starts with love, or what I thought was love. His name was Liam. He had a bright smile and kind eyes. We met at a small cafe where I worked. He came in every morning. He always ordered a coffee and a croissant. And he always talked to me. He asked about my day. He remembered small things I said. I felt special. I felt seen. We started dating. Life with Liam was easy and fun. We went for long walks in the park. We watched old movies on his small sofa. We talked about the future. He said he wanted a small house with a garden. He said he wanted a family with me. I believed him. I loved him so much. My heart was full of hope. One day, I felt a little sick. Then I felt sick the next day, and the next. My friend told me, "Sarah, maybe you should take a test." I was nervous, but I did. I sat in the small bathroom of our apartment. I waited. Then I looked. 2 pink lines. I was pregnant. My first feeling was happiness. A baby, our baby. Liam's and my baby. I couldn't wait to tell him. I imagined his face. I thought he would be so happy. I thought he would hug me and we would celebrate. I was wrong. So very wrong. That evening, I made his favorite dinner. I put a little pair of baby shoes in a box. I was so excited. My hands were shaking. He came home from work. He looked tired. "I have a surprise for you," I said with a big smile. I gave him the box. He opened it. He looked at the tiny shoes. He looked at me. His face was not happy. It was pale, scared. "What is this?" he asked. His voice was cold. "I'm pregnant, Liam," I whispered. "We're going to have a baby." He stood up. He walked around the room. He didn't look at me. "No," he said. "No, I can't. I'm not ready for this, Sarah. I'm too young. We don't have enough money. This is a mistake." A mistake. He called our baby a mistake. My heart broke into a million pieces. "But you said you wanted a family," I cried. "I know what I said," he answered, his voice hard. "But that was for someday. Not now. I can't do this." We argued. I cried. He packed a bag. He said he needed space. He needed to think. He left that night, and he never came back. He called me one more time a week later. He said it was over. He said he was sorry. Then he was gone. His phone number didn't work anymore. He was gone. I was alone, and I was pregnant. The happiness was gone. Now only fear was left. A big, cold fear. I was 20 years old. I had a small job at the cafe. I had no money saved. My parents lived in another city. They were good people, but they were very traditional. What would they say? A baby with no father. I felt so ashamed. The first few weeks were a blur. I cried every day. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I looked at my small, growing belly, and I felt lost. So lost. I loved this tiny life inside me, but I was so scared. How could I do this alone? How could I give this baby a good life? People started to notice. My friends, my boss. "Are you okay, Sarah?" they would ask. "You look so sad." I didn't know what to say. The secret felt so heavy. Then the idea came. A terrible, awful idea. It started as a small whisper in my head. What if they didn't know about the baby? What if the baby just went away? No, not like that. But what if I told them it did? What if I told them I lost the baby? The idea grew. It felt like a way out, a way to escape the shame, a way to escape the questions. If I lost the baby, people would feel sorry for me. They wouldn't judge me. They would be kind. It felt like the only way I could survive. So I made my decision. The worst decision of my life. One day, I called my mother. I was crying. But they were not real tears of loss. They were tears of fear and guilt. "Mom," I sobbed into the phone. "The baby. I lost the baby." There was silence. Then my mother's soft, sad voice. "Oh, Sarah, my poor girl, I'm so sorry." She believed me. Everyone believed me. My friends hugged me. They brought me food. They told me to be strong. And with every kind word, my heart felt heavier. The lie was a stone in my chest. Now I had a new problem. I was still pregnant. I couldn't stay here. People would see my belly grow. So I lied again. I told everyone I needed a change. I needed to go away for a while, to heal. I said I was going to stay with a distant aunt in a small town far away. There was no aunt. I just made her up. I quit my job. I packed my small bag. I left my apartment. I took a bus to a town I had never seen before. A town where nobody knew my name. A town where I could hide. The town was small and quiet. I found a small room to rent above a shop. The owner was an old woman named Mrs. Gable. She was kind. She had soft, wrinkled hands and a warm smile. She didn't ask too many questions. I told her my name was Anna. Another lie. Life was lonely. I spent my days walking by the river, reading books from the small library, watching my belly grow bigger and bigger. I talked to my baby. I told her I was sorry. I told her I loved her. My love for her was the only real thing in my life of lies. Mrs. Gable was my only friend. She knew I was pregnant. She saw it. But she never judged me. One day, she brought me a cup of tea. "It's hard to be alone, dear," she said gently. I started to cry. Real tears this time. I told her everything. About Liam. About my fear. About the big lie. I told my family. She listened. She just listened. She didn't say I was bad. She held my hand. "Fear makes us do things we are not proud of," she said. "But you have a good heart. I can see it. And you love this baby." Her kindness was like a warm blanket on a cold night. It didn't fix my mistake, but it made me feel less alone. The months passed. My baby was born in a small hospital in that quiet town. It was a girl. She was beautiful, perfect. She had tiny fingers and a little nose. When they placed her in my arms, I felt a love so big it hurt. It was the purest, strongest feeling I had ever known. I named her Lily. I spent 2 days with her in the hospital. 2 perfect, magical days. I held her close. I sang to her. I memorized every part of her little face. But my plan was already made. The plan that broke my heart every second. I knew I couldn't keep her. I had nothing. No money, no home, no family support. I wanted her to have a good life. A life with 2 parents who loved her. A nice home. A safe future. A life I couldn't give her. Before she was born, with Mrs. Gable's help, I had found a family. Through a special agency. They couldn't have children of their own. I saw a picture of them. They looked so kind. They had a beautiful house with a big garden. They had so much love to give. They were perfect for my Lily. The day I had to say goodbye was the worst day of my life. The new parents, Mark and Emily, came to the small office. They were crying with happiness. I was crying with a pain so deep I thought I would die. I held Lily one last time. I kissed her soft cheek. I love you, I whispered. I will always love you. I am doing this because I love you. Then I placed her in Emily's arms. Emily looked at me. Her eyes were full of tears, but also full of gratitude. Thank you, she whispered. We will love her forever. We will tell her how much her birth mother loved her. I walked out of that office. My arms felt so empty. My heart was gone. It was with Lily. A part of me was gone forever. I went back to Mrs. Gable's house. I stayed for 1 more week. I cried and cried. She just sat with me. She made me tea. She let me be sad. Then it was time to go back. Back to my old life. Back to my big lie. When I returned to my city, everyone said I looked better. The time away was good for you, they said. I just smiled. A sad, empty smile. I got a new job. I found a new apartment. I tried to live a normal life. But the secret was always with me. It was my shadow. Every day I thought of Lily. I wondered if she was happy. I wondered if she looked like me. Every year on her birthday, I would buy a small cupcake. I would sit alone in my apartment. And I would cry for the daughter I couldn't keep. Living the lie was exhausting. My mother would sometimes talk about the baby I lost. She would say, "Maybe it was for the best, Sarah. You were so young." And I would just nod. The words would get stuck in my throat. The guilt was like a poison. I couldn't have real relationships. How could I let someone get close to me? How could I share my life when the biggest part of it was a secret? I was lonely. So very lonely. I was paying for my lie every single day. 5 years passed. 5 long, empty years. I was 25 now. I was still Sarah, the girl who lost her baby. The girl with a secret sadness in her eyes that no one understood. Then one afternoon, a letter came. It was a thick envelope with no return address, just a postmark from a city far away. My hands trembled as I opened it. Inside, there was a long letter and a photograph. The letter was from Emily, Lily's mother. She wrote about Lily. She said Lily was a happy, smart, funny little girl. She loved to paint. She loved stories. She was healthy. She was so loved. Emily thanked me again for giving them the gift of her. Then she wrote the words that made my world stop. Lily is starting to ask questions, she wrote. She wants to know about her other mommy, her birth mommy. She wants to know why you couldn't keep her. Mark and I have always been honest with her. We told her that her birth mother loved her very, very much. Sarah, we wondered if you would ever be open to writing her a letter. Or maybe someday, when you are ready meeting her. We will understand if the answer is no. But we wanted to ask for Lily. Then I looked at the photograph. It was a picture of a little girl with big brown eyes and a bright smile. She had my eyes. She had Liam's smile. She was beautiful. She was my Lily. I stared at the picture for hours. I cried until I had no more tears. All the pain, all the guilt, all the love I had kept hidden for 5 years came rushing out. What could I do? Meet her? How? My whole life was a lie. If I met her, the lie would have to end. My parents would find out. My friends would find out. Everyone would know I was a liar. They would know I didn't lose my baby. I gave her away. The shame felt so big. I wanted to hide. I wanted to run away again. But then I looked at the picture again, at her curious, happy face. She deserved the truth. She deserved to know she was not a mistake. She was born from love, even if that love story ended sadly. She deserved to know her mother didn't just forget her. Her mother loved her so much that she made the hardest choice of all. I knew what I had to do. It was the scariest thing I had ever done. More scary than being pregnant and alone. More scary than giving her away. I had to tell the truth. The next weekend, I drove to my parents' house. My heart was beating so fast. I sat with my mom and dad in their quiet living room. They could see something was wrong. "Sarah, what is it?" my mom asked, her voice full of worry. I took a deep breath, and the words came out. "Mom, Dad, I need to tell you something. I have to tell you the truth." My voice was shaking. 5 years ago, I didn't lose the baby. I had the baby, a beautiful baby girl. Their faces were shocked, confused. "What are you saying?" my dad asked. Tears streamed down my face. I told them everything. About Liam leaving, about my fear and my shame, about the lie, about moving away, about Mrs. Gable, about the adoption, about the letter. I showed them the picture of Lily. I finished my story and waited. I expected them to be angry, to yell at me for lying to them for so long. But they didn't. There was a long silence. Then my mother came and sat next to me. She wrapped her arms around me. My father came too and put his hand on my shoulder. "Oh, Sarah," my mother whispered, and she was crying too. "You went through all that alone. Why didn't you tell us? We would have helped you." I was so scared I sobbed. I was so ashamed. You have nothing to be ashamed of, my dad said, his voice thick with emotion. You were a scared girl in a terrible situation. You made a decision out of love for your child. A hard, painful decision. We are not angry. We are just so sad that you carried this alone. In that moment, with my parents' arms around me, the big, heavy stone of my lie started to feel lighter. Their love and understanding didn't erase my past, but it helped me start to heal. My secret is coming out now. I have started to tell my closest friends. Some are surprised, but the real ones, they understand. The judgment I was so afraid of, most of it was in my own head. I have written a letter back to Emily. I told her yes. Yes, I want to write to Lily. And yes, someday, when we are all ready, I would love to meet my daughter. I am scared, but I am also hopeful. My story is a sad one. It is a story about a big mistake born from fear. I lied about my baby. And that lie was my secret shame for 5 long years. It was a heavy cage I built around myself. But now, the cage is opening. Telling the truth is hard, but it is also freeing. If you are listening to this, and you are carrying a heavy secret, please know you are not alone. It's okay to feel scared. It's okay to have made mistakes. We all do. But hiding in the dark is a lonely place. There is strength in truth. There is healing in honesty. And there is always hope. It might take time. It will be hard. But you can find your way back to the light. You can do this too. Keep going.